Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will read a small book before going to school. STEM Trailblazer Bios, Astronaut and Physicist Sally Ride. Let's get started. Chapter 1 Blast Off. Astronaut John Glenn's family watches his 1962 space launch on TV. February 20, 1962 was an exciting day for the United States. That's when astronaut John Glenn climbed into a small space capsule in Florida, and huge rockets blasted him into space. He became the first American to orbit Earth. Millions of Americans watched the launch on TV. In Los Angeles, California, Sally Rye was watching too. Her teacher at Encino Elementary School had wheeled a black and white TV set into her classroom so the students could watch the launch. Sally was in sixth grade. She didn't know what her future would hold. She didn't know that she too would become an astronaut and the first American to orbit Earth, to fly in space. Sally poses for a high school yearbook photo in 1968, studying science. Sally was born on May 26, 1951. Her parents, Dale and Joyce Wright, always encouraged Sally and her sister, Karen, to work hard and pursue their interests. Sally became interested in science when she was in junior high school. She subscribed to Scientific American magazine, and her parents bought her a telescope. From her front lawn, Sally could look through the telescope for close-up views of planets and constellations or groups of stars in the night sky. Sally attended a private high school in Los Angeles called Westlake School for Girls. The science teacher there, Elizabeth Momers, encouraged Sally's passion for science. During her senior year, Sally took an introductory physics class at the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, but an English teacher at Westlake was less supportive. She told her class that Sally had a first-rate mind, wasted in space. Sally ignored the English teacher. She wanted to study physics in college. She was especially interested in astrophysics. Astrophysics deals with the properties and behavior of objects in space, such as stars, planets, and solar systems. At the time, Sally did not think about becoming an astronaut. Rather, she was fascinated by space and interested in knowing more about what existed beyond Earth. Sally decided to study physics at Swarthmore College, a small school in Pennsylvania. Swarthmore College. Chapter 2 Trajectory. Sally loved tennis and played competitively in high school and college. At Swarthmore, Sally also played tennis. She began playing as a child, and by the time she graduated from high school, she was a top-ranked tennis player among girls her age in the United States. On the Swarthmore tennis team, she dominated the competition, winning the Eastern Intercollege Women's Singles Championship. But Sally missed the warm weather in Southern California. She was more serious about tennis than ever, and she knew in California she could play tennis outdoors all year. She even thought she might become a professional tennis player. So she quit Swarthmore after 3 semesters and returned to Los Angeles. She enrolled at UCLA and joined the school's tennis team, but her dream of turning pro was short-lived. I realized finally and for certain that my education, science was more important to me than tennis was, she said. But tennis taught Sally self-control and discipline, traits that would serve her well in the future. UCLA campus. Hitting the books. Rye recommitted herself to science. For her junior year, she transferred from UCLA to Stanford University in Palo Alto, California. She was one of very few women in the physics department. The Physics and Astrophysics building at Stanford University, where Rye studied for several years. After earning her bachelor degree, Rye stayed at Stanford for graduate school. She earned a master's degree in physics and then began working on a PhD in astrophysics. She studied how tiny particles called electrons behave as they speed through outer space. She also studied how waves of energy called X-rays interact with gases around surrounding stars. Wright works on a project at Stanford. Reach for the stars. In January 1977, Wright saw an announcement in the Stanford University newspaper saying that the National Aeronautics and Space Administration (NASA) was recruiting female astronauts. NASA runs the U.S. space program. Previously, NASA trained only men to become astronauts. The first astronauts were military airplane pilots, but NASA wanted women to join the program, and they didn't have to be pilots to apply. The agency planned to send both pilots and scientists into orbit on its new fleet of space shuttles. The astronaut scientists called specialists would help operate the shuttle, study Earth and its atmosphere, and conduct experiments to understand how weightlessness affects living things. When Rice saw the notice in the newspaper, she knew that she wanted to go to space. She wrote to NASA, which sent her a formal application. More than 8,000 people applied for the astronaut interview that year. After medical tests, fitness tests, and interviews, the agency selected 35 astronaut trainees. Wright was one of the 6 women in the group. In June 1978, Wright finished her PhD in astrophysics. The next month, she moved to Houston, Texas, to begin astronaut training at the Johnson Space Center. Thank you for your listening. That's all of it for today's video. Bye. Bye. See you in another video.